Hey, I'm Beatie Wolfe. I'm a singer-songwriter and an innovator, and I create new tangible formats for the digital age. I really think about, how we can reintroduce tangibility, storytelling, and ceremony into the music experience today. And on the other side, the music I play isn't futuristic. It's very kind of old school. It's largely acoustic, and Taylor has always been my go-to for those acoustic instruments. I really like this guitar. More than anything, I really like the idea of using reclaimed city wood. When I heard what Taylor was doing in this kind of area, it really excited me. And I guess I had apprehensions, like what was it going to sound like? And I'm amazed, particularly this, like the kind of tone, the warmth, the depth that you get from a pretty small guitar. So I have kind of fallen in love with it a bit. It just feels good. The action feels good, and a lot of the stuff I do is sort of picking more than strumming. It can be hard work if the neck is really thick. There's something about this that just feels very natural for the kind of music I predominantly play. The two distinctive features about it, which I like, are that it's made with obviously chamois ash, urban ash wood, and then also eucalyptus on the fretboard. Eucalyptus for so long had been thought that it was, impossible to use. So the fact that it now has made it onto a guitar and it sounds great is really exciting. The Urban Ash project is basically, the idea that we have all these trees in urban environments that often get cut down and turned into firewood. And so just really thinking about how that wood can be reused for something like a guitar. And so the urban ash model, which is from chamois ash trees, was sort of the first example of reusing city wood. And, it sounds like mahogany. It sounds amazing. It's really just thinking about that kind of circular economy, but also thinking about how to give trees this life after they die that they didn't used to have. And then specifically planting with that in mind. So I've been shooting this short about From Green to Red. My project is very much about showing the CO2 in the atmosphere and how we have been the vast contributor to that as human beings. And it's this wonderful kind of collaboration that is predominantly about this project that I'm working on, but is also feeding in what Taylor is doing and what the West Coast arborists are doing. The thing I really like about Taylor, and it also made sense after spending some time with Bob Taylor, who really shares that kind of appreciation for, traditional, well-made things, but then also knowing where to innovate. So that whole idea of, knowing what to preserve and knowing what to update. And going around the Taylor factory, just realizing that it was this beautiful blend of sort of amazing craftsmanship, but then also these really innovative, twists like the bracing. Something I was surprised about with this guitar was just the clarity and the tone. It definitely is a nice sounding guitar, sort of unmiked, but then I think, mic'd up it sounds fantastic. So realizing that it can be a great guitar for a studio setting, and particularly if it is one you have at home. I've been doing a lot of home recording over lockdown, and this kind of size and everything, and particularly the tone it produces, it feels like something that would immediately go into the tracks I'm working on. The thing I feel right now, just in general, and I think it applies to, what Taylor is doing, it applies to lockdown, it applies to the environmental protest piece that I'm working on, is, I think lockdown has actually given us an opportunity to reassess, what matters. And I think the environment and art, making great art and great music, and the power of great art and music to connect us. Music and art are really the two things that make us human beings and make us sort of inspired and uplifted and connected with one another and with ourselves. So I feel like we have an opportunity to just start thinking about what matters and reclaiming some of the stuff that we might have lost along the way, but also knowing where we can innovate and where we can use technology to sort of better enable ourselves for the future. So that's sort of what I feel, and I really like what Taylor is focusing on, and I think this guitar and the urban ash are great examples of the long view.